thought we could go through a few examples to give you some idea of how this might work for you. And I'll put it into the context of common thoughts that we have about our dog's behavior based on common things for each personality type profile. Hi, I'm Kathy Kowalik, and I believe that our dogs connect us to the heart and soul of what really matters in life. So hang out, and we'll take a deep dive into the human-dog connection and explore strategies that will inspire you to create legendary, enlightened partnership with your dog. This is the Enlightened by Dogs podcast. Well, hello, Kathy Kowalik here, your host of the Enlightened by Dogs podcast. And I love this topic that we're going to dive into today. This idea that our dogs are giving us a hard time and choosing to not be cooperative. But the truth is that our dogs are having a hard time, not giving us a hard time. And the thoughts around all these things about our dogs are giving us a hard time and choosing to not be cooperative, all those types of thoughts that we have, and be honest with yourself, right? I know I have them sometimes. All those thoughts begin to leak trust. And the remedy is simply more clarity and more understanding, so we can begin to shift our perspective and our thinking and get more clear. And that is what leads to more trust between you and your dog. And so let's go ahead and talk about this layer of clarity. And the way I speak about this is in the context of reframing your thoughts about your dogs, dog singular or plural. And it's those thought reframes that lead to more trust in ourselves, trust in our dogs, trust in our relationship, trust in our ability to transform our life into that cooperative, safe, calm, and happy lifestyle that we dream about, right? And so it all starts with identifying our, let's call it, these are air quotes, our negative thought about our dog's behavior. And what we want to do is to shift our perspective with intention and reframe that air quoted negative thought into a trust and partnership building thought instead. So we're going to replace that old thought with a new one. And so I thought we could go through a few examples to give you some idea of how this might work for you. And I'll put it into the context of common thoughts that we have about our dog's behavior based on common things for each personality type profile. All right, so let's look at the magician or fire type dogs. And so we often have thoughts that go something like this, like, why can't you just calm down? Will you ever slow down and take things a little easier? Can you just relax? Why are you demanding attention all the time? Can you stop barking? Right? So those are, pretty common thoughts that we might have about our fire type, magician fire type dog, especially if they're imbalanced. And so I'll give you a couple of ideas. And so this thought of, why can't you just calm down? Right? So that's our old thought. And that thought can be reframed into, I love how filled with joy you are right now. And I think I'm going to join you. That's a good one. And here's another example. We might have the old thought of, Why do you need to demand attention all the time? And we can reframe that thought into something like, I love how you let me know when you're feeling lonely, right? And just starting to shift these thoughts opens up doors to opportunities to connect with our dog and build trust. And that trust and that connection is what, sort of leads us into figuring out how to communicate in a way that we can both have our needs met. That makes sense? Okay, let's take a look at the nurturer or earth type. So we might say things about the nurturer earth type, the old negative thoughts, things like, why are you so slow? Hurry up, will you? Why don't you stand up for yourself? Why are you so stubborn? And those are typical because earth types they have a very slow stimulus response, and that's how they are, right? And they don't get fussed up about stuff, and they can, just really not do things that we ask them to do, and it looks like they're being stubborn. Okay, so let's turn a couple thoughts around. So let's take a thought of, you're so slow, hurry up, come on, let's go, right? And that can certainly be in just an ordinary life. We're going for a walk and our dog wants to, stop and sniff or lay down or doesn't want to go. And it could also be in, something like we're trying to do agility and our dog is not going very fast, or dog is meandering through the sequence or whatever, so that hurry up, you're so slow can be reframed into something like, I love how steady and grounded you are, taking time to really enjoy the moment. That opens up some doors, doesn't it? And how about this thought? This is a really common thought with earth nurture type dogs. Why are you so stubborn? And that becomes, I love how you tell me how you feel by stopping when something isn't right for you. Wow, that's really honoring and respectful, isn't it? I love that reframe. Okay, so that's a good one. All right, so then how about our organizer metal type dog? We often have things, thoughts that swirl around that go like this. Like, why won't you snuggle with me? You're so independent. Why do you have to try to boss everyone? Can't we do something different today without you freaking out? Yeah. So our organizer metal dogs can definitely, throw us into that judgment and those thought loops around, how they need to analyze things and how they want things orderly, and they don't like things out of place, including us and our other dogs, right? They need to keep things in a specific sort of order. So let's take a couple of the thoughts and reframe them. So how about this one? Why won't you snuggle with me? That thought becomes, I understand that you prefer space right now, and we can snuggle later. Yeah, that's a lot better, isn't it? How about this one? Can't we do something different today without you freaking out? That thought becomes, it's so interesting that you notice the smallest details in our environment and you let me know when things are different. That reframe is really honoring of our metal dogs' personalities. And you can see how that can open up the door to a different sort of experience and a different sort of relationship that's more trust building, right? Okay, let's take a look at our sage water type dogs. So with those dogs, we can often have thoughts that sound like these. Why can't you just trust me? Like, I said it's okay. Why don't you just take my word for it? Are you ever going to accept so-and-so as friend or family, or just accept that person, that dog? And here's a common one. Can't you just do it because I asked you to? Yeah. And so let's take a couple of these and turn those bad boys around. Okay. So we'll take this one. Why can't you just trust when I tell you something or someone is okay? That thought can be reframed into something like, I appreciate that you need to come to your own conclusions after some consideration. Much more honoring. And that's a door opener and a trust builder, right? And then how about this one? We often have the old thought of, how long is it going to take for you to accept them? That thought can become something like, I understand that you need time to assess others, and I know that trust isn't something that happens on demand. Yeah, much better, right? That's a door opener and a trust builder, and it actually speeds things up for our water type dogs, our sage water type dogs, because when we take the pressure off of them, they can relax and process more easily without us, without them also having to process our interference and our, strong suggestions about how they should feel about something or someone. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at our fifth one, which is the explorer wood personality type. So we often have thoughts about the wood explorer types that sound something like this. Why can't you just relax? Why are you so impatient and bossy? How hard is it to just tolerate that or that person or that dog or whatever just because I said so? And then this is one that sometimes is unspoken but often thought, will you ever forgive me? So the explorer wood type dogs often are like strong, reactive type of dogs, because they have that drive, that competitiveness, that strength, and that will, to take charge of things. And so they're often misunderstood as being, impatient and intolerant, especially when they're imbalanced, right? And so let's take a couple of thoughts and reframe them, shall we? All right. So how about this one? Why are you so impatient and intolerant? That thought can be reframed into something like, I understand that your stress buckets are full and that I've expected more of you than is possible right now. That's a door opener, isn't it? You can already feel yourself calming down just with that reframe. And then a second one that comes up often and we could reframe is something along the lines of, will you ever forgive me? And so that thought can be reframed into something more promising, and that opens a door to deeper trust. And it could sound something like, I know that we'll forgive one another when we take some deep breaths and remember how strong our love really is. So that is definitely going to change things around, right? Yeah. And so there was a couple of comments that I pulled out from our Brilliant Partners Academy members. They're just really quick ones, but I thought, like, in their own words, what thoughts they're having around their dogs and the personality types. They're not reframes specifically, but they're ideas and things that they're thinking about with their dogs. So I thought I'd share a couple of them just to give you another little bit of something to think about as you process these thought reframes so that you can better love your dog. All right. So Anna and Flo, one of the things she has told us is that when we don't have a common goal and things go wrong, I tend to lean on my metal, which is to analyze, like to make sure that we're going to do the right next thing. And then from there, Flo gets frustrated and starts barking, or even gets apathetic, goes away and pretends that she's not interested. And so for Anna and Flo, her idea is to better, first of all, to better understand, but then to start to rethink, like, where did we go wrong? Where did we separate on our common purpose and being partners and working together cooperatively? And so she starts to rethink that when she realizes what's happening. And then Sarah said this about her 2 fire type dogs. She said, I thought it was kind of interesting. I'm thinking that the fires need a lot of direction because they can just take off in response to stimuli. But unlike my wood types, they don't know where they're going. And I thought that was really insightful when Sarah shared that, and it's really true. Like, fires are just so fire and wood both have a quick stimulus response, but a fire can just get kind of like frenetic and just kind of like busy and frantic and, and just doing without knowing what they're doing. Whereas even a wood type, that they do also have a very quick stimulus response, but they they're more purpose driven. And so it's a different feel for sure. So I love that insight that Sarah had about her fire dogs, that they need a little bit more direction when they get all fiery. Okay, so what about you and your dog? So which thought might you reframe that you're having about your dog's behavior? So I thought I would share a couple of journal prompts that you can think about and maybe just work through this. All right. So we can start with this prompt. What is your old thought about your dog's behavior? So you can just, maybe write a few and then just choose one to work with. And then the next prompt is to do your reframe. And so the prompt is, what is your new reframed thought? So take one of your old ones and then just journal on a new reframed thought. And then the third prompt for you today is to contemplate what your insight about your better understanding about your dog's behavior might be. And so just journal on insights and what this means for you and how this might change the things that you do together with your dog and how you might think about things like in a more general sense. See if you can't dig in a little bit and come to some insights there that will help you in a longer term and deeper sort of way. All right. So that is what I have for you today. Let me know your insights about your dog and the personality types and the thought reframes. As always, I love to hear from you, and I may not be able to respond to every email, message, comment, or post because there's a lot of them, but I love reading them and I love to read as many as I can. And I wanted to share that we've got some amazing stuff planned in the Brilliant Partners Academy. And it's just amazing. We're going to be rocking the partnership lifestyle and finding joy every single day as we continue to grow and expand our partnership lifestyle and fall in love with our dogs all over again, even if they're reactive, distracted, anxious, hyper, and even if you've tried everything and you're not sure what to do next, we take our baby steps and we celebrate our wins no matter how small, and we level up. It's work of the heart and it's awesome, and I hope you'll join us. And in the meantime, just imagine what life will be like when you and your dog can finally truly understand one another. Bye-bye for now. Thanks so much for listening. And hey, if you would like to work with me so that I can help you discover the missing pieces you need so that you and your dog can finally be happy and enjoy life together, then head on over to dancingheartsdogacademy.com and request your invitation to join us in the Brilliant Partners Academy when the doors open for the next enrollment. See you next time, and remember, a brilliant partnership with your dog makes your whole life brilliant.